will disturb me.
My name is Shep.
Even that's on this fan.
Whoa, so we're gonna.
Ayappa Nannu came here.
கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணப்பா பாஸ்டர் ரைட் பண்ணிட்டா 1-5 போடு சீக்கிரம்.
So, whoa.
நானு இதோ அங்க போய் உட்காந்துக்கணும்.
What is, guys? This version is so different from this. What the hell is that? This is upside down version of Nyan.
1-5 baby.
Nyan cat is. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I have everything in the house. And my. Why am I an evil cat?
கழுத்து போடக்கூடாது ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா
And
போடு.
why do I have a waffle body? Oh, super cat now. I want super Nyan. Yes. Oh shit. Jump over that guy.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இப்படி.
Yep. Oh shit, not again.
6
Oh, whoa.
6 போடு.
I got me so many things and I have so. Oh.
1-7.
Pussies. Okay, come on. So. Wait, what is he? R.I.P. What is this game? Oh, R.I.P. Game of. Oh, come on. I don't want these ones.
That's good.
Yes, thank you. I want Universe. That looks.
1-3.
Play with
One.
it. Wow.
2
Whoa.
அழகா எழுது.
Oh, things of
பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா
this.
இருக்கு. சத்யா
God.
4
Oh, I want that jump. Yeah. Combo.
Five. 6 7 8
Yep.
9
Yep. Mm, yep.
Another one.
Oh, God. Oh.
C போடுங்க. Good. 9 10 9
All the way up.
11
Of you. Yup. Jump again. Oh, jump. Oh,
4
I like this game. It's kind of fun to play. Oh, move. What is this? Oh, that just gives you combo. I thought it was something better.
4
And why is there a yellow board chart? Oh, what the? No.
அவ்வளவு லாங்கா போடக்கூடாது. ஸ்மாலா போடு. 1 ஸ்மால்.
No.
1-5.
Okay.
Good.
Nyan wings. Oh, no dynamite. Yeah, that's good.
அப்படிதான் இது கூட பேபி
Oh,
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 1
not
போடு.
enough coin. No.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 1 போடு அப்புறம் 6.
Jumped over. Oh, yeah.
1-6
Oh.
1
Come on. I can't got that.
I put 1
1 6. யோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 1 போடு. ஃபர்ஸ்ட்
Yeah, like that. Oh,
next 1-6 1 next 6 7 1-7 நல்லா போடு.
not a knock and see, but I got candy.
1-8 no
Highest level
1 2 3
of my love
First.
dancing.
1
So just dance. Ooh, up of the land. It is so good in the view in the land.
6
It is just so hard. A
லாங்கா போடு.
cookie.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட்
And
போடும்போது
I
லாங் போடு.
know it's getting very
7
bad to
7
see. I
Seven.
can't
The
see
rest one.
not in my hunting what I can see. A chocolate bar I need. Oh,
7
achievement. I rock uncommon. I need something like. Oh,
கரெக்டா ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா அழகா பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா இருக்கு.
no. Phew. Oh, come on. I have
போன
no young pool.
straight good actually 8
God. Oh,
miss
okay, piano.
miss one பிடியா? Nine. 10. 1 to 3. This one, 11.
Om Sai Ram.
12.
Om Sai Ram.
13. Attention. 3 and
Like
4.
so high. That's how I win.
5. 1 5.
The highest score, but I
1 6.
win more is my life.
1 7.
Oh, that's how
1 7
how
7.
I works.
Next, go to 1 2 3. அழகா 3 நல்லா போடுமா? 3. 3.
I'm going to the high spot. Yep.
Correct.
Not like that. No. I was about to go to the high spot.
Oh.
Now I can go. Bye bye.
இன்னும் இந்த லைன் நீட்டு. அவ்வளோ லாங் போகக்கூடாது. ஷார்ட்டாக. தட்ஸ் குட். ஓகே. 1 5. இது 5. 5. 6. 7. Good. 10. 11.
I'm kind of
11.
look at me. Guys, look at me. I'm so far. And I'm like in a live stream now.
16.
Very good.
Yep.
5.
And yep. Okay. Oh,
6.
waffle man.
6.
Okay, 90 meters. I think we're going to go to 1,000 meters.
7.
That is
1
going to
7.
be X3. Okay, oh, come on.
7 put 6 இல்லை கண்ணு
Off you.
next
Oh, come on. Let's see.
next week
By the way, 1, 2,
going to Oganakal Falls Oganakal Falls
Why?
1,000.
7 put
1,000.
1 7 7
1,000, guys.
good about
We
next
got
1
to
to
1,000 meters. And we are going to be
good
we are in the real live stream in 9 minutes.
good very good very very good
1, 2,
good
3, 4. Oh, I
7
wanted a 9 cat face thing.
very good 8 yes sir big
Yep. Oh,
9
this is so lucky.
9
Sai.
10 1 0 11
No. Don't be that stupid. It's ridiculous. You're stupid.
12
No.
13
I'm in a golden spot.
14 15
No. I'm in the lowest spot.
16
Somehow I need to get lucky
17
for. Oh, yes.
good that's all
No.
okay, next go and take one more book நன்னா
Oh,
பேபி ஒர்க் க்ளீனா கரெக்டா எழுதிச்சு
okay.
குட் கேர்ள்
Yeah, good girl. Congrats.
அப்படி என்கரேஜ் பண்ணணும்
Oh,
அப்பா
guys.
Hey, no, let's
You're the
yes
lucky box because I got so. You want nothing better?
nothing
This is
no one more
this
next இதே ரைட் பண்ணனும்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க மிஸ்
Eve.
ஃபோன் பண்ணிருந்தாங்க
Yep. Hey,
A to
I got
B
nothing.
A B C
Oh, flashlight. Oh, come on. I'm exploring
yes
so many new things. I'm exploring so many new things, but I never get it. That's a new achievement. Can you finding something? Wait, nyan? X7.
பேட் அது இங்க உட்கார்ந்து நின்னு
Oh my. What is 9x7?
இங்க நின்னு கட்டா ஸ்டாண்ட்
I'm jumping everywhere like some idiot. See? Oh, strawberry. Beep, 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 no, beep. Beep,
A
E, E, beep, 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 beep,
How can I
beep.
sit down?
A, B, Y. It is a beep. Oh, Papa. Oh, flip it. Oh, last time. No. is going to be very easy. 1, 2,
Oh.
1, 2, 1, 2,
மேலே இரு.
1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. See, 9 x 7. So that is something. Oh no, no. Jumped over the moon. This cat is jump. Oh, no.
அழகா இருக்கு.
Not move. Just go. Oh. Okay.
It's a green.
Meow, 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 meow. In disco party, yeah. Okay, okay. But everybody dancing. Oh, I can never do
C. B க்கு என்ன?
And
This
I'm
next
on
C.
my way.
Erase பண்ணு.
To the light.
C. A B C D E F G H I. Erase பண்ணு. Right.
I'm on my
Right now.
way. And I'm on my way.
Good.
I'm taking up the millions. And I gotta just pick up my friend. And I'm on my way. No, kill.
போப்பா.
Yeah.
ஏய் இங்க பாத்துக்கோ. C here.
Oh.
நன்னா
Huh?
பாப்பா பாக்குது நீ.
Oh, 1. Lol.
3. Yeah.
Stop.
Oh, then
Oh.
G.
Yeah. Look at this guy.
இது
What is this?
H.
This guy. This guy. Oh, yes. That.
கீழே போடு. கீழே
Yes.
கீழே.
Oh, come on. Let's see.
H கோடு போடு சென்டர்ல.
Let's see.
H சென்டர்ல
Okay.
ஒரு லைன் போடு.
Daily reward for this. Thank you. Thank you. Okay,
J.
let's see.
C.
Look what it's done.
K.
Yeah. Oh, that looks very good. Okay, I got.
K.
Oh, golden magnet. Oh.
Good.
No, Mom. Milk.
Yeah.
I don't have any milk. Oh, come on.
Good.
Oh, hey, nah.
நன்மதி.
Nobody?
N. O.
Nobody. This one.
நன்மதி first letter N.
Yeah.
O. P. Q. R. Good. Very good. Yes. T. 1 to 2 மேலே T பண்ணும். U. V. Next line ABC. இது பார்த்து ரைட் பண்ணி. அதான்.
Oh, I should see you.
Wait. 1 2 3.
I should like this and like this.
1 2 3.
I
Wait, how
should
is my
like
high
1
score
2
going?
3.
My high score is going very good.
ABC.
Now I'm so master chief.
1 2 3.
Whoa, jumped over that. Oh, come on. Wow.
இது பார்த்து எழுதி.
Towards the light and everything go. Oh, nowhere. Do wanna go? Oh, yes.
E.
Love. And you move where you
Yup.
already know.
You done, yep.
Oh. Oh, this doesn't look that evil. This looks bad. Good. This looks. Oh, yes.
Come on.
Okay, good.
Oh, milk. No. That means I have extra milk for days.
H.
Of you. He doesn't steal my milk.
I.
Zombie. No, I don't like the zombie.
J.
Oh, I could have got M. The Mayo. Pemayo. What's pear mayo? Strawberry pear mayo. This is what the hell is this? Oh come on, that's evil.
Good.
Oh I can't do why.
But this
I know,
only
because
is
they
my
already got
classmates.
Name.
Asylum.
Okay, thank you. Good. P.
Baby, pay for remember baby pay for your best friend. Pugal.
Booker.
Yeah.
Booker is saying.
Q.
Now where were we? Now the last one, track 9. So we finished all the things. But this is the easiest one. Yes, go.
Oh, nalla.
Oh, yeah, this is easier. Yeah,
R.
P.
R.
Look how easy this is. But not in other words. Not that easy, but it's kind of easy, especially the
Yes.
last one is the hardest.
T.
Look at it.
Nalla.
So I'm in a live stream, everybody. Oh.
Good. A.
No, we're going to read the
இந்த லைன் கீழ போக கூடாது. அதான் ஒரு பேட் வாங்கிட்டு வர சொன்னா மம்மி வாங்கிட்டு வரல.
Which way?
ரைட்டிங் பேட்.
I think like this.
ஆக்சுவலியா
Oh, super cat. A for.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, I already have A. Yes. Easy. Exactly what I mean. Look at how high I'm in now. Oh, come on. Yes, last.
இந்த கோட் லைன் கீழ வர கூடாது.
S.
Yeah. Good.
I'm far like that. I tried you. I'm not far against the age.
I.
You should wanna start crossing the boat on the sand in March. Moving the far and hot in the battle sky. I can't stop. I can't stop. I got enemies in cover for my life isn't covered. I keep playing on his voice and not rock creepers and for my fathers and it set me out of bone. And we are getting stronger. We are getting richer. Wow, that's very tough.
Oh.
See, paper and ice cream. That's
லைன் கீழ போக கூடாது.
universe.
மேல.
So,
லைன்
down to the second universe.
Q.
Collect rainbows.
நீ டச் பண்ணு. that's good.
That's what it is.
Q ஓ நல்லா போய் ஃபர்ஸ்ட்.
That's not high.
ஓ நல்லா போய் கம்ப்ளீட். Q ஓ. R.
Wow.
R.
So,
லைன் டச் ஆகணும்னு சொன்னல. இந்த லைன் கீழே வரக்கூடாது. எஸ்.
third eye. These guys so happy.
யூ லைன் டச்
It's
ஆகணும். It's
morning.
ஏபிசி.
It's your time to go.
லைன்.
No, Jakey.
அதான் முடிஞ்சிச்சு. ஏ. லைன் வெரி குட். டி லைன் டச் பண்ண. அவ்வளோ லாங்காக போகக்கூடாது, பெருசாக போகக்கூடாது, ஈவனாக போகணும்.
I have so much. Bull.
D.
Line
This
touch.
is very big.
No problem. Yeah. G. Very good. H. Line touch. கீழே போகக்கூடாது.
So much happiness.
Down
This was
பண்ணக்கூடாது. I.
okay. Return.
I தான் சொன்ன ஆர் ஏன் போடுறேன்.
Back.
Okay. R.
I. கை எங்க வச்சிருக்க?
Oh, what is this? Okay.
Good. J.
Candy five.
Line. K. லைன் இது லைன் போட லைன் டச் பண்ணிட்டு இது லைன் டச் கீழே போகக்கூடாது.
I'm not touching the ground.
எல் எல்
Remember.
ஓகே நோ ப்ராப்ளம். எல்
Okay. That's
லைன் டச் Line touch
zero
one.
candies on it.
Yeah.
I play this one more.
ஓ P. ஓமை ஓ
O.
மிஸ் பேர் என்ன?
O. O side.
ஓய் சாயிரம். P. Q. Good. R. Yes. T. Line touch பண்ணு. Good.
This is so awesome to play, guys.
E. Good. Then okay.
20.
Finish.
And wait, I kept this in my bag.
First, good.
Wow.
Super. Top of good game.
Okay. Now
No. And can you give me the phone?
I'm making a video, guys. This game is so fun, right?
Oh yeah. It's very good, right?
Look at this. There's a cat flying everywhere. Oh no.
It's the cat.
Oh no. Evil cat. Bad evil cat. Bad cat.
What is time now, see?
12 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, Pajama. No, take that chocolate. No, take it.
I took it.
No.
I took it.
Take it. No. Only the cat took it. He's only the best.
Ah, this is a game about a cat.
Only cat won.
Cats doesn't win and cats doesn't lose. Okay. But this game is so cute.
I hate this game.
You don't like Nyan cat?
I love Ruben's game, not your game.
Only Ruben's game is the best. Guys, Ruben is the worst YouTuber. Oh yeah.
I love Ruben's game, not your games. I hate your I hate Roblox. I hate this game.
I now speak to you. So guys, actually Ruben is a YouTuber who's also one of our part of our
I
family.
love Hal.
And he's also a bully in our family. So
No, she's not a bully. She's a good guy.
and guys, she's just saying some dramas. No, hey. Oh.
Press this button.
Ah.
Can I try?
No, you said you don't like this game.
Okay, I love it.
No. So.
Okay, I love it.
So guys, my sister is playing. See? Yay! I don't know how to play this game, but it's the best game. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! It's so awesome!
It's a photo, right?
No.
Yeah. You can drive by yourself.
It can only move slowly, right? But see, if I hold up my hand, it moves faster, right?
The cat is yours.
No, this is my cat.
The cat is yours.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that is you.
Woo, yeah. What, yeah.
No, can I try?
Woo. Woo. Oh. No,
Can I
no,
try?
this is when the stupid cat comes.
No, can I? No. No, please.
Wait, the cat will come any moment. The evil cat.
The cat will
One.
come fast.
No, the
right?
evil cat.
Yeah, the cat will come fast, right?
சார்
Alan Chan.
అదే కై కొడు బేబీ
Whoa.
సరే టైం నన్ను పాక్షం
The time is 7.
Okay.
Whoa. Oh, come on, how could I?
சரி நன்னு பெட்ஷீட் எல்லாம் கலைக்காதுன்னு சொன்னேன்ல
No.
அடிச்சு தான் க்ளீனாக வச்சுருக்கோம்
So, what is happening?
இது நன்னு உள்ளார போ
Nana, keep your legs down.
Here?
Yeah.
நீ அந்த பக்கம் போய்டு பீரோக்கு போ பீரோக்கு போ
You're going to. I need to sleep.
I don't know where you're going. Oh, I don't want to tell you. Okay, universe.
சரி நான் நாளைக்கு டுமாரோ சண்டே
Why?
சண்டே கோயிங் டு மை ஹவுஸ் கிருஷ்ணகிரி
Today morning. Now morning. Now.
now இல்ல நெக்ஸ்ட்
Tomorrow morning.
I have a millions of myself.
டுமாரோ மார்னிங் ஆர் நைட்
And I need to have a rainbow chocolate.
I mean, go inside.
Yep.
I want you to. I don't want you to worry. You should stay
Yep,
here for
gotcha.
Saturday.
சாட்டர்டே போட்டா
Gotcha.
நாளைக்கு வேணாவா
Yeah, because I want you to stay here.
சரி சரி
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You can take party.
ம்
You can take party.
எஸ்
You
Gotcha.
You can take party.
எஸ்
Are you going to take party?
பாட்டி
Party is coming. With you.
எஸ்
Oh, then we are going. Then we are going to be alone. And my mother will not drop us here because we will go to office,
எஸ்
right? Right, Nanu?
Mm.
Because nobody will be here. And you food. And you water.
And you know babies get poor baby. Oh, what is that?
What the heck? What is that you're pooping? Are you pooping?
Oh, no, 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 no.
You lost. Now can I try this game?
Oh, what is this?
Nanu,
No, what? Oh, you want a house?
Nanu, can I play that wiggly
okay.
wiggly? No, can I play that wiggly wiggly?
I don't know what's a wiggly game.
No, like that green color. Like that cat.
Wait, no, you can only.
Like this. Huh? That green color. Movie.
It's coming. Yeah. Yeah, let me get right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
மம்மி என்ன வாங்கி கொடுத்தேன்னு என்ன இருக்குது
French fries.
எஸ் வா ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டு வா ஃபேன்
Nanu, Shaban will buy
ஃபேன் ஆஃப் பண்ணி காது கேட்குது உனக்கு வேஸ்ட் கரண்ட் பில் நம்ம தான் கட்டணும் கரண்ட் பில்
So we are going to play. It's already 30 minutes past, so half an hour finished already.
பேபி பேக் தான் வைக்கிறதா சும்மா அங்கே வரும்
Let's go.
எனக்கு வேற
Yeah, we go. Okay. You were lastly, you were in this one, the hardest one. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to
ஷார்ட்
easy. Sing.
ஒன்றுமே இல்லை
This is just a. Oh, is that all? Oh.
என்ன இது பேர் என்ன
I.
French fries.
உனக்கு பிடிக்குமா
Yeah, my favorite.
ம் அதே நான் ஜோடி
அந்த பையன் பிடிஎல் மேல ஒரு போர்டு அது நீ தானே?
ஆமாங்க.
ஜோனை பற்றி நிறைய சொல்லிட்டேன். நான் ஜோவோட பாருங்க.
ஓ சரி 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 சரி.
நாங்களாம் ஒன்றா தான் வெயிட்டிங் இருக்கோம். இங்கே தனியாக வந்துருக்கேன்.
இல்லை இப்போதான் வந்தேன்.
வா போகலாம். நானே போகலாம்.
ஒரு கதை மாதிரி ஆமாப்பா மாப்பிள்ளை எங்கே
ஜோனுக்கு போயிருக்கா? வந்துடும் போ. வந்துடும். எப்போ வருவா? வருவா.
தெரியும் ஜோ நிறைய வாட்டி சொல்லியிருக்கா.
ஓ, அந்த ஓட்டோ எல்லாத்தையும் சொல்லிட்டாளா?
ஓட்டுவாள்.
அட வாப்பா, ஏன் பயந்துட்டீங்க? உள்ள வா. உட்காரு. ஏன் யோசிக்க? எல்லாம் வருவாங்க. எவ்வளோ பெரிய விருந்தாளி நீ இப்படி கூச்ச போடலாமா? கிஃப்டா கொடு.
This is called hostage revenge.
எந்த ஊர்?
புரியும் பண்ணும்.
Hostage is illegal.
அது எங்க இருக்கு?
இந்த திருநெல்வேலி திருச்செந்தூர் ரோட்ல கருங்குளத்தை தாண்டினா வருது.
ஓ, வரட்டும். அப்பா என்ன பண்றாரு?
அப்பா வந்து
என்னடே அப்பான்னு இழுக்க? அப்பா இருக்காரா இல்லையா?
இருக்காருப்பா. அப்பா வண்டி மாடு வச்சிருக்காரு.
ஓ, வண்டி மாடு வச்சிருக்காரு.
ஆமாம்.
சரி, இந்த கூட ஜோ மூச்சுக்கு 300 தடவை ஒரு பேரை சொல்லிக்கிட்டே இருக்காளே. ஜோ நான் ரொம்ப பிடிக்குமோ?
பிடிக்கும்பா.
எவ்வளோ பிடிக்கும்?
ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும்பா.
ரொம்ப பிடிக்குமா? இவ்வளோ பிடிக்குமா? இல்லை எவ்வளோ பிடிக்குமா? இல்லை இவ்வளோ பிடிக்குமா?
ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும்.
ஐயை வச்சு சும்மா சொல்கிறேன்.
அந்த பொண்ணு பத்திரிக்கை கொடுத்துட்டு போனேன். நீ மட்டும் கண்டிப்பாக வந்து வரணும்னு அவங்க அங்கமையா.
தம்பி, இது ஒரு தேவையாளே. அவள் சின்ன பிள்ளை. அவள் வர சொன்னா நீ வரலாமா? யார் எங்கே வந்துருக்கு எல்லாம் எங்களுக்கு தெரியும். ஒன்றா படித்தா நீ என் பிள்ளை ஒன்றா இருக்கீங்களா? என்னடே அவளோட நீ பழகலாமா? இன்னையோட நீ வரை கொண்டு வர ஓடிக்கு இல்லைன்னா சங்க அறுத்துவாங்க. கொண்டே கொடுப்பாங்களா? பொண்ணை கையெடுத்து கூப்பிடுது. இனிமே பொண்ணோட பேசாத பழகாது. அதான் எல்லாத்துக்கும் நல்லது.
சமையல் ஒரு கிச்சன்ல கிச்சன்ல கிச்சன் மூணு
இப்படி வந்து
ஸ்டவ் பக்கத்துல இது ஸ்டவ் இண்டக்ஷன் ஸ்டவ் இங்கே
This one? Murka.
உங்களுக்கு அது சாப்பிடுங்க. வா.
Some people are playing with the boats. Now we can
அடிச்சிட்டாங்களா?
இன்னொன்னா
இது பேர் என்ன? ஃப்ரெஞ்சு?
Fries.
ஃப்ரெஞ்சு?
French fries.
ஃப்ரெஞ்ச் ஃப்ரைஸா?
Fries.
ஃப்ரைஸா?
French fries. Right?
It's fried.
Fries. I never eat that.
Nobody?
Oh, I eat it.
One of them. Maybe a sweet, yeah.
நானும் மாட்டேன்.
ஹலோ இது யாருன்னு தெரியுதா?
சொல்லு.
ஏய் என்னாச்சு? எங்கே போய் விருது தொலைச்ச?
ஊரில் கபடி டோர்னமெண்ட்டு அதில் அடிபட்டுருச்சு.
ஓ இவரும் கல்யாணத்துக்கு கூட வராம கபடி விளையாட போயிருக்கு அப்படிதானே? தெரியும் உனக்கு. நான் எத்தனை வாட்டி படிச்சு நீ வரணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு வந்தேன். எதையுமே யோசிக்காம நீ வந்து கபடி விளையாட போயிருக்கு நீ என்கிட்டே வந்து சொல்ற. ஒரு நிமிஷம் என் மூச்சை பாரு. இந்த காலேஜ்லயே நான் உனக்கு மட்டும்தான் பத்திரிக்கை கொடுத்தேன். எங்க அப்பா அம்மா அக்கா எல்லாருக்கிட்டையும் உன்னை பத்தி என்னென்னலாம் சொல்லி வச்சிருந்த தெரியுமா? எல்லாரும் நீ எவ்வளவு எதிர்பார்த்தோம் தெரியுமா? அதெல்லாம் விட நான் உனக்கு எவ்வளவு சர்ப்ரைஸ் வச்சிருந்தேன் தெரியுமா? ஆனா நீ என்னடான்னா கபடி விளையாட போறேன்னு எங்கிட்டே அசால்ட்டா சொல்ற.
இல்லை வரக்கூடாதுன்னு இல்லை, ஆனால் கடைசியில் வர முடியாது.
எப்ப சாமி முதல்ல இந்த அசால்ட்டா பேசுறது நிப்பாட்டு. என்ன ஆனாலும் உனக்கு வந்து ஆகணும்னு தோணல. இனி அதை பத்தி பேசாத. 10 நாள் சொல்லாம கொல்லாம லீவ் போட்டு வீட்டுல இருந்தல. இப்ப நான் சொல்றேன், இனி எனக்கு எப்போ உன்கிட்ட பேசணும்னு தோணுதோ அப்பதான் நான் பேசுவேன். நானும் சொல்லாம கொல்லாம லீவ் போடுறேன். பாய்.
சரி.
என்னது சரியா? என்னால வச்சு பார்க்கணும்னு முடிவு பண்ணிட்டேன்ல. பாய்.
Dog came for rescue.
Snake. Snake. Cockroach. Oh.
That's a scorpion. Guys, I know I didn't play for so long because I was eating my food. Oh, what is this?
Hey there, TikTokers! Welcome to a new Scary Tuesday. Today, we have a very special creepypasta, as it's not based on any killer or any evil creature, but on one of the most popular video games of all times. This is the deadliest version of Super Mario 64. I remember when I was young, I used to love my Nintendo 64. I used to spend hours and hours playing in my room. Time just flew. I have a couple of favorite games I had completed several times, but without a doubt, my favorite one was Super Mario 64. I knew it by heart, from beginning to end. That's why I got really mad when I lost it. My family and I moved into a new house, and the game disappeared during the move. With time, I stopped playing Nintendo 64 and forgot all about that. But one night, late at night, while I was on the internet, a strange pop-up appeared, selling old copies of the Super Mario 64, brand new. Nostalgia got me, and I decided to buy one. When I got it some days later, I could tell it was a cheap copy. The box didn't have any cover, and the game card only had the name of the game handwritten with a marker. I felt fooled, and I tried to complain, but the webpage where I had bought it wasn't there anymore. And the contact email simply sent the emails right back, as if it didn't exist. Upset, but curious at the same time, I decided to dust my old Nintendo 64 and give it a try. After the title screen, Mario's face appeared. You could actually reshape his face, and I wanted to have some fun stretching his ears. But suddenly, a static interference showed up in the screen, and the weirdest thing, strange sounds started coming out of it, and what seemed to be a whisper of a nearly inaudible voice. I took the game card out and I blew into the slot, an old trick I had had since I was a kid. When I started it again, I passed Mario's face screen and started a new game. It was weird that there was no introduction with Princess Peach's video inviting Mario to her castle. Instead, I was there directly, but something was different. The place was darker and gloomier. Toad wasn't around, and you couldn't hear any voice. The only door there went to the room at the level of the Bob-omb's battlefield. When I went in, I saw that instead of the Bob-omb picture, there was a white canvas. I thought it was all glitches, short-lived faults in the game, since it was a cheap copy, so I went inside the frame. The screen went black, and instead of the name of the mission, a message appeared saying, "Turn back." I was in the Bob-omb battlefield, but I wasn't alone. Luigi was with me. That really surprised me. I didn't recall him there in the original game. When I went towards him, he ran away, and I went after him. Suddenly, everything started turning gloomier and gloomier. With each coin I got, the scenery went darker and darker, and the music and the enemies became slower and slower, until suddenly, they just froze and laid dead on the floor. I couldn't see Luigi anymore, so I went to the top of the mountain, but I didn't see the King Bob-omb waiting for me, only a small cottage. I opened the door and was shocked when I saw Luigi hanging from the ceiling. While I heard a sad and annoying piano song, Mario fell on the floor on his knees and started to cry. The screen went out and I went back to the castle, but that had changed as well. Lots of toads were around me, with black eyes and a macabre expression on their faces. And the most terrifying thing of all, the frame had a picture of my own family now. I got so scared that I wanted to turn it all off, but I couldn't. Even unplugging the whole thing, the screen was still on. It was forcing me to keep playing. So I jumped into the picture and I started the only mission that came up, called Run, Don't Walk. I was in a place with a lot of platforms over poisonous water. A strange shape, an undefined black bolt appeared and started to crawl after me. I jumped from one platform to the next. I really couldn't escape until finally it got me and slowly consumed me. I lost one of my lives and I was kicked out of the frame. But now the picture of my family had changed. Their bodies started to show signs of decomposition as if they were recent corpses. The effect was too real to be done by Photoshop. It did look like a real picture. Desperate, I wanted to stop seeing that grotesque image, so I jumped inside the frame again. This time, the mission was called I'm Right Here. I was in a dark room with no exit or refuge. There was a piano at the back, and when I got close to it, it turned into a horrendous creature and started to chase me. I couldn't hurt it, so I had to let myself die. But instead of the typical death sequence, Mario fell on the floor, started to bleed, and his guts scattered all over. It was grotesque, but it became completely terrifying when little by little it turned into a real image. A truthful reconstruction of a dying Mario. Paralyzed, I couldn't do anything but observe until Mario was kicked out of the picture again. Now the castle was on fire. There was a painting on the wall written with blood that said, "You'll never save them." And the frame had a totally terrifying picture of my family. Their bodies were more and more putrefied. They had holes with bugs coming out of them and eating up their flesh. Their guts were hanging out and their eyeballs were coming out of their sockets. I was terrified. I grabbed my phone and I tried to contact them with no success. My dad, my mom, and my sister, none of them answered. I looked at the screen again, and this time I could only see a sentence. Game over, on a black background. Fearing the worst, I left home to go and find them, hoping nothing had happened to them. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode. Welcome to a new Draw My Life video. Today we have a very special anniversary, TikTokers. It's been 30 years since The Little Mermaid premiered in the United States. It is hard to believe that so much time has passed, but this Disney classic has managed to conquer several generations of children, and also adults as well. We're sure you've all seen it at least once, but welcome to a new Draw My Life video. Today is Scary Tuesday, and we have a chilling Japanese legend that's gonna keep you away from the toilet. Do you know what we're talking about? It's Hanako-san, the sinister spirit of a young girl who haunts school toilets, one of the spookiest yokai of Japanese folklore. Hanako has short, straight black hair. She wears a school uniform with a red skirt and braces over a white shirt. They say her dark look can freeze the blood of the bravest people. It is said that Hanako-san is an initiation rite or a bravery test at schools, very similar to Bloody Mary or Veronica. We don't know why exactly, but Japanese legends are many times related to enchanted bathrooms. Hanako is no exception. She lives in the third bathroom of the third floor. If you feel her evil presence and you are brave enough to knock on the door, you have to do it 3 times and ask, "Are you there, Hanako-san?" A chilling and sinister voice will answer, "Yes, I'm here." Then she can just vanish, sinking into the toilet and flushing. Or, with a bloody hand, drag you inside to kill you. Hanako's origin is uncertain, but many people say it is a girl that died tragically when her school was bombed during World War II. This explains her outfit, with a uniform very similar to the ones Japanese girls wore back then. Her spirit was trapped between the world of the living and the world of the dead. and now she wanders bathrooms, scaring whoever dares to bother her. There are many variations of the legend, but they are all as terrifying. In one of them, Hanako-san can answer with a hoarse voice as if she was possessed by Satan. In fact, some people say it's not a girl but the devil himself trying to trick you with a sweet voice. And when you look inside the toilet, you find a monster. For Japanese people, 4 is a bad luck number, as phonetically it sounds very similar to the word death. In some schools in Japan, they say you have to go inside the 4th toilet and once inside, recite Ichibanme Hanako-san, Nibanme Hanako-san, Sanbanme Hanako-san, which literally means first Hanako, second Hanako, third Hanako. Then a pale and stinking hand will appear over the toilet door. Another way to call on her is by stirring the water in the toilet 3 times while you call her, non-stop. A bloody hand will come from the toilet and she will try to drag you with her. In other versions, Hanako follows you around the playground at school while you are playing. If you fall and you hurt your knee, you could get the feared Hanako fungus, a white stain she somehow passes on to you. This fungus will spread around your whole body until you look putrefied. If you don't want to be a victim of this evil spectrum, there are ways of avoiding her. Hanako usually prefers dirty and dark toilets. This is why many teachers advise their students to always keep them clean. The risk of finding this assassin spirit is a lot higher if you do it alone. If you stay together, the possibilities of surviving will increase. Go to the toilet together. If you're a very good student and have got the top grade on an exam, you can keep calm. Hanako-san won't attack you. She will just disappear without hurting you. Hanako's myth has inspired many artists in mangas, animes, and movies, such as Toire no Hanako-san from 1995 or Shinsei no Hanako-san from 1998. She also reminds us of the character Moaning Myrtle in Harry Potter, the ghost of a student killed by Lord Voldemort in the toilets of the 2nd floor. Be careful. If you go to the toilet and you know Hanako-san is there, don't knock on the door, because what you will find will haunt you forever in your nightmares, if you're lucky enough to survive. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, and if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode! Welcome to a new Draw My Life video. Kuchisake Onna is a famous Japanese legend about a woman who, after being killed, comes back as a yokai, or an evil spirit, to take revenge. The story goes, a long time ago, there was a woman who was as beautiful as big-headed. She was so beautiful that she was courted by many men. Out of all her suitors, she decided to marry an important samurai. But the rest of the suitors didn't give up. At first, she wouldn't pay attention to them, but her husband had to go to war, and she soon started feeling very lonely. In the end, she fell for the charms of one of the suitors. Her husband had been away for too long, and she was the prettiest woman in town. Tired of waiting for him, she decided she could do as she wanted. So she kept on with her relationships with the different suitors, who were richer, more powerful, and stronger each time. But as we all know, rumors fly, and the samurai ended up hearing a story about a beautiful woman who would only accept the strongest men that went after her. When he heard this story, the samurai, a very proud man, felt really curious about the girl, even though he was married. One day, the samurai went back home and he went out for some drinks with his friends to celebrate his comeback. The party went on till late at night when one of his friends told him, "Do you remember the woman I told you about? She lives nearby." And the samurai, self-confident, decided to go and court the pretty lady. The closer he got to the place, the more familiar it seemed, but he was under the influence of alcohol. Suddenly, they stopped opposite a nice red door and his friend said, "It's here." But the samurai was speechless. He didn't say a word, and the friend teased him. "What now? Are you gonna buck up?" The samurai, very serious now, answered, This This is my house. He then went in, kicking the door, ran to his bedroom, and found his wife with another man. The woman's face turned white after seeing that. All of a sudden, her husband had taken a sword through the man, and as he was taking it out of his back, the samurai asked her, "Do you think you're beautiful?" Then he held her strongly, put the sword in her mouth, and full of jealousy, cut her mouth, while the lady wouldn't stop screaming. People say the woman turned into an evil spirit, the Kuchikaneona, who came back to the world thirsty for revenge. She looks like a completely normal woman, and she hides her wounds by wearing a mask, something really common in Japan. Lots of people wear it to protect themselves from different diseases. Kuchisakeona wanders around the streets looking for victims, especially during dark and gloomy nights. She approaches them and says, "Am I beautiful?" If you're carried along by her beauty and you answer yes, she will slowly take her mask off, letting you see her horrible scars, and then she will ask again, "And now, am I beautiful?" If the victim gets scared, screams, or says no, the woman will cut their mouth using some big scissors, imitating her scars. The victim will bleed to death. The wounds caused by Kuchisakeona can never be healed. Others say if you answer yes to both questions, but showing you are afraid, the evil spirit will go with you to the door of your house and will stab you to death there. However, if you answer yes twice, calmly and without fear, the woman will give you a blood-stained rupee and then leave. Though they all agree on this, Kuchisakeona will leave you alone if when she asks you for the first time, you say that you don't have time. She will apologize and you will continue your way. The Japanese legend of Kuchisakeona is said to have very old origins, but it came back to light in 1996 with the movie Gakkoi no Kaidan. Since then, it was present in several Japanese movies. Though we should highlight Carved and its sequels, she also appeared in TV shows like American Horror Story, Freak Show, and Constantine. And remember, if a woman with a mask asks you in the street if she's beautiful, say you don't have time and don't look back.
Look at her, she looks so funny.
And remember, if a woman with a mask asks you in the street if she's beautiful, say you...
Yep, this looks nice, but the previous one. A union.
外へは出ていかないようにお願いします。
まさに口裂け女だね。ミカ、昨日の犯人でしょ。あ、口が裂けてるから話せないんだ。男の子どこやった？さらったんでしょ。どこやったの？ちょっとやめなよ。夏希は関係ないじゃん。じゃあミカ、口見せてよ。裂けてないんだったら別にいいでしょ。ね。いいじゃん。あ、おはようございます。おはようございます。ちょっと、何やってんの？
被害者を救出するため懸命に捜査を続けている。
ここはおととい小川文明君が連れ去られた静川東公園です。文明君はこの場所で口裂き女の紛争した何者かに連れ去られました。そして昨日佐々木美香ちゃんを連れ去った犯人も同じように口裂き女の紛争をしていたのが目撃されています。
アイスクリーム、ビスコット。Welcome to a new Draw My Life video. Hey there, TikTokers, and welcome to a new Scary Tuesday. This time, we're going back to Japan to share with you the adaptation of one of its most famous and terrifying stories. The Revenge of the Ghost Woman, Oiwa. A long time ago, there was a samurai called Aimen who fell out of favor not having anyone to serve and had to make umbrellas to maintain his family. His wife Oiwa was a very pretty woman, but after giving birth to their first child, she fell sick. Oiwa didn't care how poor her family was, as she was happy just by being right next to the person she loved. However, Aimen was ashamed of his situation, and with time, he started hating her for being content with a miserable life. After some time, a young lady called Ome, granddaughter of a wealthy doctor, fell in love with Aimen. Aware of this, one day, her grandfather suggested she should work for him as a samurai in exchange of taking her as a wife. Seduced by the idea, they both planned to get rid of Oiwa, and they gave her a medicine to cure all her illnesses. However, this supposed medicine was actually poison, which gradually disfigured her face. Her eyes started to fall down, and one day, while she was brushing her hair, some locks just fell off, leaving a trace of blood on her face. Even though Oiwa knew something was happening to her face, she was so poor that she didn't even have a mirror to look at herself. As her beauty kept deforming, Aimen started insulting and looking down on her. As he was unable to kill her with the poison, he sent a servant called Kohei to seduce her and so have an excuse to leave her. But when the time came, the servant felt bad for her, told her about her husband's plans, and gave her a mirror. When she saw herself, she went mad and started struggling with Kohei, cutting her throat with his katana. While she was bleeding to death, she used her last breath to curse Aimen and swear revenge. When he got back home, he discovered his wife's body, though there was no trace of his servant. Knowing his testimony could compromise him, he sent people to find him and killed him. He decided to get rid of the bodies by nailing them to a board and throwing...
Like burgers, but you don't want.
Bye. Teaching.
English, right?
என்ன பரியா அதிசயமா செகண்ட் பெஞ்ச்ல உட்கார்ந்திருக்க?
இனிமே எப்போ முன்னாடி தான் டீச்சர்.
அதெல்லாம் இருக்கட்டும். ஏன் உன் மேல ஒரே கம்ப்ளைண்டா வருது? ஆச்சு உனக்கு? நல்ல பையனா தானே இருந்த. சரி, கிளாஸ் முடிஞ்சு ஸ்டாஃப் ரூமுக்கு வா. உங்ககிட்ட கொஞ்சம் பேசணும். சரியா? உட்கார். என்ன பரியரும் பெருமாள் பிஏ மேல ஒரு கோடு. ஆளையே காணோம்.
அப்படிலாம் ஒன்றும் இல்லையே டீச்சர்.
ஒன்றும் இல்லையா? குடிச்சிட்டுலாம் கிளாஸ் வரீங்க.
Into the river. He was finally
சாரி எனக்கு இருக்குடா.
சும்மா வச்சுக்கோங்களேன்.
நக்கலா இருக்கட்டும். அவனுக்கு ஒன்றே வச்சு
free to marry Ome, and they celebrated a great wedding. That same night, when the couple was finally alone, Ayman took the veil of the young lady off. But behind this thin fabric, he didn't find the innocent Ome smiling back at him, but the disfigured and bloody face of Oiwa clamoring for revenge. He took his sword and cut the face of his dead wife, who cried heartbreakingly when he touched her face. But when her body fell on the floor, Ayman saw that he had actually killed Ome, and he ran away terrified. While he was running down the hallway, Kohei's gloomy figure appeared. He took his sword again and cut again. But after cutting his throat, he realized it was actually the body of his father-in-law. Totally controlled by panic, he ran away and searched for refuge at the mountains. Ayman never got to rest after those events. Everywhere and at all times, he saw Oiwa, her reflection in the water, the night lights. Her disfigured face always accompanied him, and he even started hearing her voice. One day he went fishing. He found the two boards with the putrefied bodies of Oiwa and Kohei. They were reproaching him from the afterlife for his actions. He started to get crazy. However, he wasn't ready to confess his crimes. Until one day, Oiwa's brother came to his hiding place. After knowing about his evil actions, he defied him to death. They both got ready to brandish their swords, decided to end with the life of the other. Ayman was clearly ahead, as he was a samurai, and he soon cornered his opponent. But right when he was gonna hit the coup de grace, Oiwa's face appeared. He was totally paralyzed with terror, and his opponent made the most of it. He hit a death blow. Ayman collapsed with expression of horror on his face, and the last thing he saw before dying was Oiwa's macabre smile. She had finally taken revenge upon him.
Oh.
I'm a creeper, Minecraft Grim Reaper, blowing up blocks like Al-Qaeda. I'm not a creature that'll leech you, but I'll leave you petrified. Peace of mind, peace of mind, sweeper. Take another break and you die in a deep. I'll find your mind, I'm a mind. Read another mind is finders, keepers. Oh hi, I'm a creeper. So nice, nice to meet you, but time is time to leave and
No, it's not.
Welcome to a new Draw My Life video. Hey there, TikTokers, and welcome to a new Scary Tuesday. Today, we have a creepypasta you've asked for a lot, though there is not much info about it. The story of Nurse Anne, which we have adapted for you. Anne was a shy 24-year-old girl. She didn't have many friends, as her job took up most of her time. She was a nurse at an important hospital, and she loved feeling useful by helping others. She worked along with Dr. Sebastian, a young doctor very respected among his colleagues. Even though he was a friendly person, he always seemed cold and distant. Some thought his reserved personality was completely normal, as he was a forensic doctor and he spent most of his time surrounded by corpses. His blonde hair and blue eyes had broken many hearts. Anne was no exception, and she soon fell in love with him. She never shared her feelings with him. She thought he would never show interest in her. However, one day, the doctor declared his love to her, and they both started a relationship soon after. He gave her lots of presents and paid a lot of attention to her. She couldn't be happier. One day, he invited her over to his house, and after a romantic dinner, he proposed to her. "I love you. I want to be with you forever," he said, and she felt happier than she had ever been. After a while, the doctor made a sign with his hand and said, "Come, I have another surprise for you. Come to the basement." Even though she felt excited, something inside her was on alert. The tone in his voice had changed, and the atmosphere had suddenly turned cold. She got up and followed him. He opened the door of the basement, and she suddenly felt a sickening smell. While she was going downstairs, he said, "Dear Anne, I finally found the answer. From now on, we will always be together." His strange words scared her even more. When they were all the way down, the doctor turned on the lights. The young girl could see, totally horrified, several dismembered corpses piled in a corner. She couldn't tell how many there were, but they were all missing some parts. Anne panicked. The shocking image clouded her sight, and she couldn't articulate a single word. The doctor was beside her, waiting anxiously for an answer. Her first impulse was turning around and running away, but he grabbed her and hit her on the head, leaving her dazed on the floor. She felt him holding her in his arms and putting her on an old and noisy stretcher next to a pile of corpses. He tied her hands and feet. She suddenly felt the pressure of a needle on her arm, and the effect of whatever he had injected her was instant. Her head started spinning, and she couldn't feel her body anymore. She saw the doctor grabbing a huge knife from a drawer. She opened her eyes, panicking, but she couldn't even scream. He got close to her and put the blade on her chest. "Don't worry, you will feel no pain." With a fast move, the doctor raised the knife and stabbed it into her heart with all his strength. And the last thing Anne saw before she passed out was a huge puddle of blood coming from her chest. When the young girl woke up, it took her a few minutes to remember what had happened. She was still laying on the stretcher, though she wasn't tied anymore. She could feel her body again, but that body didn't feel familiar anymore. She stood up, and she noticed she was taller now. She had a strange feeling on her face, and when she touched it, she realized there was an eye patch on her right eye now. She looked at her legs, then at her arms. She saw many parts stitched to one another, skin that didn't belong to her. Though the pile of corpses wasn't there anymore, she didn't take long to realize her new body was formed by pieces from dead people. She suddenly heard a noise, and she saw the door of the basement opening. She knew it was him. Her body clenched, and her face was burning with rage. He got closer to her and looked at her with the face of a lunatic. "My dear Anne, you look so beautiful. I can only admire my best piece. Now you have to do the same to me, and our love will be forever." But she wasn't the same girl anymore. She felt a strange feeling of euphoria. She felt powerful. Suddenly, she felt sorry for that insignificant being, and the simple idea of spending the rest of her existence with him seemed disgusting to her. The doctor's smile vanished when he observed his loved one. Before he could say anything, she jumped on him, and with the power of her new supernatural body, she choked him. He tried to resist, but all his efforts were in vain. She was a lot stronger. When she saw him dead, she decided to give him a taste of his own medicine. She searched among the tools in the basement until a chainsaw called her attention. She turned it on and used it to cut the doctor's body into pieces, smiling with each new mutilation. She left the basement and went to the kitchen. She took a look at the clock and saw the day was about to break. She took a shower to clean the blood out of her body and then searched the doctor's drawer. She put on a black uniform. She covered the scars on her arms with long gloves, and she covered her right eye with her hair. Finally, she was ready to start a new day at work.
Oh, that isn't gonna be scary. Why does he... Candyman?
Welcome to a new Draw My Life video. Dean Arnold Corll, also known as Candyman, was a serial killer from the US who, along with 2 accomplices, kidnapped, tortured, and killed at least 28 young people between 1970 and 1973 in Houston, Texas. He was born on December 24, 1939 in Fort Wayne, Indiana, US. He was the first son of Mary Robinson and Arnold Edwin Corll. His mom was very protective, but not his dad, strict and tough with his 2 kids. He usually grounded them. Corll was a very shy boy who had a rough time interacting with others, though he always cared about the well-being of other people. His parents argued more and more frequently, so they ended up getting a divorce when he was 7.